What is up, students? Devin Cassidy, aka The Scholar, and today I wanted to go over my second deck profile, the one I took for V Premium for BCS White Plains or New York, however you want to put it. And I had actually a lot of fun playing this format again. For those that don't know, last time I touched V Premium was actually for BRO, where I did play a similar list with Leopald. And I wanted to kind of bring that back because this is something I wanted to play. I was kind of baited into playing Great Nature because it's like my first BCS event, so I wanted to play my favorite clan. I had this deck's max rarity, so just a bunch of different small factors. Plus, I actually thought it had a pretty decent shot at topping, and I think I could have topped if round 4 went a little better. Nothing from like misplays or opponents or anything, just I didn't see a reverse, but that is what that is. But, you know, you're here enough to hear about me blammering. Let's get into that deck profile. But before we do, please go shop with my team sponsor, Kingslayer Cards. Use the promo code SCHOLAR and save 5% off all your amazing purchases. Supports me, supports one of the best stores in the game, and most importantly, gets you cardboard, so it's a win around for everybody. And then make sure you go shop with Dank Ritual. You see this amazing playmat right here. Well, they also have a bunch of sleeves and other things. These are actually the black matte sleeves for them, and you could win a very own pack of your black matte sleeves if you go check out the Dank Ritual video that I posted on my channel for feedback, because you can win a pack of their oversleeves and a pack of their black matte sleeves. So please go enter that giveaway. It is very important for you. But let's get talking about Leopald. So of course, it's still very generic. For Leopald, you want to play this card at 4 copies. This is your main ride target. This is what actually like made the deck kind of playable. For those that don't know his skill, he's lock another Leopald rearguard, and then you get the ability to give all of those cards that you discard from the top of your deck the normal, trigger, and order card type. And they keep those effects when they're graveyard. That is very important. We're going to get to another card here very shortly that I get to talk about that, and because I taught a lot of people BCS this weekend about this deck, so it's very cool. But when you activate a second skill, is Counterblast 1, discard the top card of your deck, and then you perform all the following actions in any order. So its normal unit mill is you look at the top 5 and you get to call 2, shuffle the rest of your deck. You get to give your front row plus 5k, and he gets a crit. And then the last one is you get another imaginary gift excel. So very, very powerful stuff. You definitely want to be playing this card. This card is the bread and butter, and very, very important for you to play. To go along though with our 3 Leopald reverse, we play 3 of the OG Leopald. This is important just to have because you need to definitely you know, be locking Leopald like units. So you didn't want to play 4 of this. 4 of this is bricky. Like against decks though, but you need to play multiple, because against decks that retire, you want to be able to keep finding Leopald lock targets, like against Luard, against the Mirror actually, because of the Jumbuck promo, which I'm going to go over very in depth for like why that promo is so important to play right now this meta, and just, you know, a bunch of other things. So we just play 3 regular classic Leopald. And to round out the grade 3s, I stuck with the more consistent traditional Leopald list. I didn't play Culture Gorilla. Instead, I continued to play 3 copies of the Tester Fox. Tester Fox puts back triggers, which is really important for when you are activating Leopald's top skill. Leopold top skill keeps their card types when they're in the drop zone. So if you mill a trigger, it's a normal unit that can be put back for Tester Fox effect, and then Tester Fox lets you go search the grade 2 Researcher Fox, which I had like 2 of my opponents called Judge on me. He's like, Judge, can you do that? Yeah. And then my round 7 opponent, again, shout out Corin, was like, turned to one of his friends. He was like, yo man, you've been playing this deck wrong. This guy tried to pull a fast one, but like it works. And he's like, yeah. So that was one of my favorite things. I was like, man, I really do know how to play this deck and like all the rulings and things. So it was just very fun and cool to see. But yeah, Tester Fox is important. It helps you do grind games. It helps you get a little bit better numbers. I didn't like Gorilla because it forced you to play Hamden, and then Hamden was another counterblast you had to use like about every turn to keep your soul up. And so even if it did like restand 2 rear guards, you had to commit very weird numbers, and then it wasn't doing what the deck wants to do of like gaining the consistent reride, which with the Tester Fox Researcher Fox pairing you still get. So this is why I wanted to still play this card. Card is very important. Its skill is Counterblast 1. You put 2 cards from on the bottom of your deck, he gets 5k, and then if they were a normal unit and a trigger unit, which is important for the Leopald card keeping type, you are able then to call a Researcher Fox from deck onto a rearguard circle, which most likely will do the original rearguard circle, so continue to gain power off of other discards and all that good stuff. And then you can Soul Blast 1, give a rearguard 10k, retired at the end of turn. If the retired unit was the Researcher Fox, you get to draw a card, which is awesome. Then for consistency, for our grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Parakeet. Parakeet's important just because, again, you need to find your Leopald names to activate your Leopald reverse. I go over consistent over anything. You absolutely could play this card at 3, but I'm just very paranoid when it comes to best of 1 tournaments, and I just don't want to like minimize my ability of consistency, and Parakeet does that for me. Because Parakeet's check top 7, you know, find the grade 3s, all that good stuff. So it's like, it's pretty stock. All right, now get to the card I wanted to talk about this entire profile. 4 copies of Sleep Learn Jumbuck. This card is insane. Anybody who reads this card, like, it's a blowout. It's a blowout in so many matchups. Against Thavis, you can blow up like Pursuit Assaults and Repress Strikes and just a bunch of other things that like help that deck be so good right now in this meta. The fact that this is just an on-boost swing, Soul Blast 1, discard the top card of your deck, blow up 2 rear guards is crazy, or you can pump 2 rear guards by 5k. It doesn't matter. Like, this card is so good. This card also came up in my Riser matchup. I was able to retire the Battle Riser and retire a Cat Butler, and then my opponent didn't find the grade 3. He G-assisted and missed, and like he had no way to come back. He had no advantage plays whatsoever. So like Jumbuck was like a blow-up card. I had so many people pick up this card when I said, okay, now I can retire too. This card is so good. Don't sleep on this card. This card also lets you find like better ride targets. So like there was sometimes I in one match I flooded on this card. I found like 3, I think, yeah, and I had a grade 1, but I wanted a discard to help find me a lemur, and I got to it. So like this card does so much utility for the deck. This card's very important. Like you can blow up. Oh, it's like there's so many like important rear guards you need to blow up. Doesn't matter, like especially in like Thavis. And Ons, they really don't have a board, but like forcing them to blow up a Tira, so that way they have to find a Finessa to put it back is like can be like really clutch sometimes. So it just depends on like what they have in their hand. Like so, yeah, just don't sleep on Jumbuck. This card is so good. People really were like, well, do you have the other? And then I had the other, and then it's like kind of won me the game. Like it threw my matchups all the day. So it was very important. Also came up against my Dueling Dragon match round 2, where I was just able to blow up both of his arresters, and then like just was able to shred his hand to where like he couldn't do anything for games. So very, very powerful card. And then to round off the grade 2s, 3 copies of Researcher Fox. This is your pairing with the Tester Fox. She gets 5k any time you mill a card and she's on an additional rearguard circle. But also when she's retired by a card ability, you can counterblast 1, search up for up to 1 card in your deck with the same card name as your Vanguard, and you add it to hand. So it gives you that Leopald reverse reride target, which is hands down super important. For the grade 1s, nothing much has changed. For Mini Belly, it's just your grade 3 searcher, so you want a lot of consistency. Like you need to play this card at 4. It's a 13k booster. It's like really important that you play it. So it just helps you get better numbers because it's one of your most solid boosters in the deck. For the best card in the deck, I'm going to talk about this card for a minute. This is a Flated Lemur. This card is out, thank God. I still have my promos. I find my promos have a sentimental value to me. Like, sure, the triple R's look a little bit better because they're the shiny or whatever, but this card has sentimental value to me because I got these like right when they came out because I wanted this card forever. This card like fixes so many things. It fixed some things for Isabel Premium at the first time when it came out, and now the deck's just slow. But this card, when placed, your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, you get to put the top card of your deck into the drop zone and perform one of its effects. If it's a normal unit, you soul charge. If it's a trigger unit, you counter charge. Of course, Leopald lets you choose whatever you need. I felt so bad for my Dueling Dragon opponent. He did everything correctly going into my grade 3 turn. He damage denied me by swinging at a rear guard, and then he goes into using just swinging into that rear, damage denying me, not giving me the counter blast. I ride into Leopald reverse without this in hand, top deck this, called a Leopald regular, locked it, did the effect, and found another one in the top 5, and I had a Tester Fox in my hand. So this card, just some reason, like the deck is very scary and can pop off. And when you just find like 2 of this in a turn at 1, like you get to absolutely pop off and go crazy. So yeah, this card hands down like makes the deck so good. Because that card is so good, we still do play 2 copies of Scale Toucan. Being able to bounce that to your hand, because you will start just damaging and like milling some, then you can't really get them back. Having Scale Toucan as a 13k booster or beat stick to get it to like 18k if you call it to the front row is very important. So you want this card just to be able to reuse your lemurs, to reuse your other on-place effects, so that way you can keep going. And then for the last grade 1, I do play 2 copies of Caracal Kapoo. When placed, just put the top card of your deck into the drop zone. Perform one of the following effects depending on the card type. If it's a normal unit, you draw a card, discard a card. If it's a trigger unit, you draw a card, take a card from your hand, put it on the bottom of your deck. So this is here literally just to put fronts that we draw. If we like flood too much out on fronts or like I need a kill turn, you shove the fronts back to the deck, then activate the Leopald skill to shuffle them. Like it's really important. So yeah, that's how you do that. And then for the triggers, very stock. 4 copies of Chinchilla, 4 copies of Chicken. Play 8 front. Like, you're just trying to go wide. Everyone's like, oh, why no splash crits? Is like, because actually, low-key, my opponent has to guard my Vanguard every turn just because it has a 2 crit. So, like, I'm already giving that pressure anyway. And now with, like, the rest of, like, my large numbers, if I hit fronts, like, it's scary. Plus, like, if they go 2 to pass, and this is my first check, then they're just really banking that. They hoping it's just not another trigger. It just comes through, so... Yeah, it also like takes away like some decision making stuff, so that's why fronts are like uber important for fronts. So like that's what you really want to be doing. And then of course we're playing 4 of the most beautiful draw PG in the game. You already know that this card is like one of my favorites in my entire collection. Cable Sheep, we love this card. So yeah, PGs are good in this format. I would never play Crit Sentinels. Like this deck needs to draw cards defensively, and so what not better way to do that than draw triggers, because that's what you need to do. So yeah, 4 copies of the draw PG. And then I still do the 3-1 split. I talked with Crow like right before the event. I was like, Crow, is the 4th Heal Guardian that necessary? And he said no. And that's just because there are some decks that hit like 30k numbers that the 1 card guard is just much better against, because this card kind of punishes you in the late game, even though this helps you live early. So that's why I think the 3-1 split is still very valuable. And it's just important for you to play, because you don't feel bad drawing into a 20k shield. You feel bad drawing into a 15k shield that has an effect that you can't activate. Like that's how I feel about the card. And then last but not least, you play V starter because this is V premium, and what not better way than to play our little boy with pants. So let's get it. But yeah, that is gonna do it for the deck profile. If you guys have any questions, maybe like what you guys like to play, let me know if you guys are on the Gorilla variant or not. I do want to end with some shout outs, because this is essentially like the final video I'll be doing like in relation to New York. First shout out to Team Ham. It was awesome to meet you guys. Like that was so much fun. You guys like did pretty solid in V. Pretty solid in premium on both days. It was just good to see you guys and you guys play. And I can't wait to see you guys in Georgia. Meeting Alex CFE was awesome. He wanted to dodge me in bracket because I told him like on the drive down Friday night, I was like, oh, I'm playing V, I'm playing Leopald. He's like, I want to dodge you. So very, very good. For that too, so you just want to be doing that. And then let's see, shout out to Eric Ayala and like all of like the other like Team Generation homies. Like you guys were awesome to meet. Eric Goff, like everybody, like from that weekend, like you guys just made that amazing. And then we have, of course, all of my teammates from Kingslayer Cards. Never gonna forget about you guys. Ethan was like so close to topping this event. I don't know why the deck log error happened, and I feel like terrible for my boy, or we would have had a top 8 with Ghosties. But it was awesome. Like so proud of him for playing so well. We played both pretty solid both days. Wish I wasn't X3 on both days, but it is what it is. And who else am I forgetting? I met so many people. Shout out Fuzzy Paradox, man. Like the work you do is crazy. Shout out Deck Flare. He was on Leopald as well. I was like, let's go. Great Nature homies are still up. So yeah, it's just so amazing to see, and I'm very thankful for like this community overall. But with that being said, like shout out to everyone I met this weekend. I met like so many fans that came up to me, like even the judges were like, I did a judge issue like day 2 for round 6, and they're like, oh, your timer starts for your 5 minutes. Oh, and thank you for all the work that you do. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. It like made my day. So anywho, make sure you guys shop with Team Kingslayer Cards. Use the promo code Scholar. Save 5% off, because you know I know everyone likes saving money. I like saving money. I had an expensive weekend, so but you know, and then of course go shop with Dank Ritual. Check out the video. Check out their products. They have some stuff still up for pre-order for the extension of their Covenant collection, which is very pretty. I have one of the green Covenant collection boxes, so I know the mats are just going to be as sick. But you know, with that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful rest of your day. A wonderful rest of your week. I love you all, and take care.